futures day trading using the Confluence trading strategy powered by xBrat. So we're going to look at a couple of examples. We're going to look at oil futures and the S&P 500 futures, and we're going to walk through the sequence of how we build up Confluence with different chart sets. So we're going to be using a number of indicators here, and I'm going to talk through them on this particular slide. So first of all, the bottom right hand corner, this is the roller coaster, and that's our anchor strategy. Then top above that is the xBrat algo, and that's our Confluence confirmation. So an xBrat algo, a 6-star buy, has 12 points of control out of 12, so there's a lot of Confluence in there. And then we have a momentum indicator, which is the VWAP predator on this left-hand top chart, and that identifies momentum. So again, we need that for the Confluence strategy. And then we have the bias depth heat map down on the bottom left here. So predominantly they're all on different time frames, purely because we like to dovetail and find those combinations when we are pulling those Confluence strategies together. So the anchor strategy is on an 18-minute Heikin-Ashi. The xBrat algo top right is on a 12-minute Heikin-Ashi. Top left on the VWAP predator is an 8-minute, and then we've got a standard 5-minute that we always use on the bias depth heat map. We also have the manager on there. We're going to talk about that in a little while. So first of all, let's go through the sequence and how we build and identify Confluence and a trading opportunity. So first of all, anchor strategy comes in on that bottom right. See the little red arrow here. Again, I've put the arrows corresponding to where they correspond on each of the charts, so you can see, especially on the top left chart, the timeline of these Confluences building. So the next signal that we get is a 6-star sell signal here for the xBrat algo in purple arrow, and again you can see that coming in basically it's almost the same time. So we've got 8:24 for the anchor strategy, 8:32 for the xBrat algo. Then we see the VWAP predator confirming that momentum is there for that particular strategy at 0.840. And then the final piece of the puzzle really is that we get a cross of the start line where this green arrow is here from the roller coaster. That's our sort of go line, if you like, as long as we get 5 or 6 out of 6 on that bias depth heat map. So that's good. We go, and you know we're in a short trade now with oil, and we can see this moving down. So we're going to zoom in a little bit on that anchor strategy and talk about the trade management here. This green arrow denotes that start line that we saw. So we got in a little later here, and this is our entry line here. So what I want to talk about now is the manager. It's very important to understand that the manager looks at behavior candle to candle, volume from candle to candle, whether it's higher than average, lower than average. And what we're looking for is, you see the move down here, all of these dots are above, they're cyan dots, it's higher than average volume. And then we start to run out of juice a little bit. Then what happens is we pull down on this candle, and it rejects those lows and retraces more than 50% of the total length of the candle. But it does that with higher than average volume. So that's like a little formula. When you see that happen, you take out the trade early. You don't wait for it to come to this trading stop, because that is a sign, although it does go down a little bit more, it is a sign that it's going to turn around. So we can see that higher than average volume, and we basically retrace back. Candle closes above that 50% line. That's a 52 tick profit when that candle closes, compared to a 26 profit on that trading stop. So we've got a conservative trading stop there, but more aggressive using the manager, we take in more profit. So let's go now to ES. This is a long on ES. I'm making this video in the same week as this particular trade. And first of all, we get that anchor strategy, that green arrow for the roller coaster, and that's at 13.24. Okay, we can see that on all the other charts as well. Then we get the xBrat algo coming in at 13.36, but we do get the momentum before that at 13.30. That is fine. The anchor strategy has to come first. The order of the other two, it doesn't really matter as long as they happen within a certain period of time, and that when we're on a 12-minute time frame here, for example, all of those signals have to come in within an hour of that anchor strategy coming out here. So that's fine. It doesn't matter this next order, as long as the anchor strategy comes first. And when we get this VWAP predator, this momentum signal, we need at least 5 out of 6, and they must remain until the last part of the confluence comes in, the xBrat algo here, because this is important. If we do lose bias, we then cancel that VWAP predator out. But in this case, we can see down here we're 5 out of 6, and we remained that until the last signal came in. And we can see here we do have the crossover of that start line, if you like, for the roller coaster. That's our final piece of the puzzle, and that's where we get in on this green line just here. Okay, very, very strong looking trade. And then what I want to do then is going to show you, actually, we do get on this move. There's our start line on the left. We get higher than average volume all the way up. We do pull back down. We do get a rejection of the highs on higher than average volume, okay, but it's not greater than 50%. So we ignore it. We continue to take that trade using this conservative trailing stop. So there's, you know, we are higher than average volume, we reject the highs, but it's not greater than 50%, and this is important. It has to be greater than 50%. If we take profit at that point, 84 ticks, it's still not a bad trade. However, if we understand that retracement properly and we follow the rules for the manager, we continue to go up, and when it does finally take that out, we have 150 ticks profit. So that's a very, very simple example of futures day trading using the Confluence trading strategy. Check out the links below to get hold of the trading bundle for lots of different platforms to get involved with this Confluence trading strategy.